unarmed. Shoot back if terrorists shoot at you. Then there will be peace, cleric tells Nigerians. The General Overseer of Salvation Ministry, Pastor David Ibiyiome, on Friday told Nigerians, particularly those in the north, to defend themselves against terrorist attacks. The cleric urged Nigerians in areas, adding that until residents begin to defend themselves. According to Daily Post, this was said in ct Rivers State. And he states, according to Daily Post, this was contained in one of his sermons at the church's headquarters in ct Rivers State, in which he urged Nigerians to shoot back. He said, all of you in the north, hear me. Don't do that Christianity. You too carry a walking stick, buy a walking stick and be walking with your walking stick. All of you in the north, brothers and sisters, get good walking sticks so that when you walk, the walking stick can support you. All of you in Kaduna, hear me good. So if they shoot, you shoot. If they fire, you fire. Reporters earlier reported the Zamfara state government advised residents of the state to acquire guns to defend themselves against terrorist attacks. It is said the state was ready to facilitate people, especially farmers, to secure basic weapons to defend themselves, adding that it would establish a center for collection of intelligence of the activities of informants. Wow. I don't know. If your government tells you to get guns, wouldn't you be worried? And again, if the government are going to help people get guns, why are you not using those same funds to help and strengthen your security force? I don't understand, because for this reason, that's why you have trained personnel to deal with situations like this. So you want civilians who probably have never handled a gun in their lives to know how to use guns. Are you serious? I understand that at certain times, certain measures are needed with the level of severity that the time brings or expects. I understand that. But if anything, you tell your people to be vigilant. I mean, again, I guess the question is what the pastor is saying. And what the pastor is saying is basically for those in the north, self-defense, because the government is not going to do it for you. At the same time, the church should also talk to the government and be like, excuse me, step up. What are you doing? We cannot be advising like our own people to carry guns. Not that you should not defend yourself. Defending yourself is absolutely fine. If someone tries to attack you and you defend yourself and they end up dying, I don't think, well, it's controversial, but if you're defending yourself and the person you're defending yourself against passed in the process, well, I don't really think it'd be on you because you're defending yourself, because you had to defend yourself. But either way, who can afford these weapons? And we're talking the north where people cannot afford to go to school. They don't have good homes. They're not protected in their homes. They live in bushes. All the more reason why you could say, okay, fine, maybe they should have guns. But it's like, I think what they probably need is like shelter and food more than guns. That's what I'm saying. You can't have a mass number of Nigerians going to purchase guns, because it's like, how you want Nigerians to have guns. It's not even a thing of Nigerians. Like, you can't. Look at what's happening in America. The easy access to guns, and people are moving crazy. It's not a thing where the type of people would. It's human beings. You cannot do that, especially for people who don't know how to handle guns. So what's the point of the police? You might as well just dissolve the whole security system in Nigeria. Again, if anything, the pastor, can advise, and I don't necessarily. It's very, what's the word? It's a very daring statement. I don't think it's a Jesus loves you statement. It's not as soft as that. It's not that kind of statement. However, If the pastor can make such a daring statement, the pastor should also challenge the government. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. The government, the church can also, because again, the church is then enabling the government's irresponsible behavior, because the government slowly is passing responsibility and transferring responsibility over to the citizens on a duty that is actually meant for them to fulfill. So, so it's a thing where, as a pastor, as someone who's, I guess, a representative in a society, you cannot allow, you're helping the government, you're helping the thing that is oppressing your people. So I don't know. I think it's better for the pastor to have just called the government out. It's easier like that, because this is just bad. It's I don't know what word to use. It's sad. It's embarrassing. It is very, very embarrassing. It is very shameful. Speaks very ill of the Nigerian police force. There is no excuse at all. We just need to do the work and protect ourselves. It's very, very sad. This is exactly Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's advice and approach. But most of you are in support of this today. Call them unpredictable names. Then we are more today than sure when we describe him as a prophet. They set Nigerians up against him by targeting and cropping those areas of his talks where he made certain statements and sold them to you to manipulate you. This is the only solution. At the end of the day, as much as it's not I don't think you understand. If it requires that Nigerians have to start training and fighting themselves, and would have to teach themselves how to use weapons, fine, but there should be designated people in society that you already have vigilante groups, you already have just small security groups that each society has. I think that is okay, that is fine. We've pushed so much responsibility from the government to the citizens. When does it stop? We provide ourselves with our own water, with our own housing, with even our own jobs, even with the jobs as well. The government doesn't even create, proper infrastructure for the running of small businesses. Like, it's so bad. Nigerians have to work inefficiently, and we call it hard work, but it's not. We work very hard, but it's inefficient. Why? Because we're so behind, and therefore the results and the yield we should get from our hard work, we don't get it. The same energy or the same effort of work that is put in another country that's developed would yield more than the same, if not even more. And Nigerians would have to put in 10 times to get an ounce of what someone in the diaspora is getting for that same amount of work. Doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. So I think, yes, as much as with the times, and it may seem like the viable and the necessary option to allow people to get their own guns, but it will not be safe for Nigerians in the future. We have to think of this long term. If Nigerians were in a phase where they were able to access weapons anyhow they liked, we are going to be worse than America. We will be worse than America, and it will be very, very bad. Very, very bad. We cannot do that. It's too risky. Put what you think in the comment section below. Do not forget to like and subscribe.